Hi, my name's Anthony. Welcome to a demonstration of preparation of anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, anti-death breakfast. Shouldn't take long, it'll repay you. So we're always washing our hands before and after preparing food. Hygiene first. I take a small fry pan with a lid. Lid off, of course, we'll be chucking some things in there. That's how big it is. And just a tiny drop or two of a good quality olive oil. And then we get back to the preparations. Did I mention that we have, of course, washed the fry pan? It's clean, and likewise the implements here. And this is not a particularly sharp knife. I don't want to accidentally lose my fingers, but it's sharp enough for what we're doing. And so we just take a tomato, just chop it up as you would expect, and really I've got no particular ordinance here except that it be small chunks. I've got to thank Jim Mason, who's a friend of mine in his mid-90s. He's a very active man around here at the beach. He has survived a couple of cancer attacks, and when I had a diagnosis of prostate cancer, Jim gave me some texts to read which were helpful, some very helpful spiritual advice, but as well, more importantly, said eat lots of tomatoes, and golly, doesn't that work. But there's more to it than that. Most of our ailments, now these are string beans. Point is here that we're not putting in big portions of anything, but everything that we think is healthy, even things that we, for instance, like this one, which is a Brussels sprout, which I detested as a child. All right, so what I've chopped up there is the string beans, the tomato, of course, the Brussels sprout, a red onion, which you can see is being pared down this morning and from yesterday, some sweet potato, just taking a slice of it, that's delicious, and just chopped up the slices, you can see, like that. Okay, likewise a turnip. I'll even take a little bit of that turnip top, just a tiny little bit, just goes into the mix. These are all anti-inflammatory vegetables. They've all got a range of nutrients in them, and frankly, when you put them together like this, it's as simple as pie, and will, if you're a young man, middle-aged man, old man, these will, this combination of vegetables, or any combination of vegetables really of this nature, will provide you with a nutritious breakfast. And of course, because most of our ailments are associated with a degree of inflammation, a response of the immune system, then we, this is broccoli, then we take, what's the word, insulating actions. Anyway, so here's a bit of broccoli, and again, not a vegetable I could have stomached in previous years or earlier years. So I've chopped up the broccoli. What's in there? Oh no, I haven't. Well, yes, I have. There it is. And I've taken some red cabbage. There it is. Some fennel. Where's the fennel? There it is. That's a beauty for anti-cholesterol, they tell me. None of this sort of preparation, this sort of approach is not avoiding medical advice by any means. We attend our doctors, we follow their good advice. However, it's assisting the work of your medical practitioner to do this sort of thing. So there we are. There's the red cabbage. There's some fennel, as I say. There might be some bok choy. A new favourite. Now it's gone a bit limp, a bit wet in the fridge there. So, but I'm just chopping up silver beet, spinach. Also, as Popeye must have been a grand uncle or something like that. Popeye the Sailorman shows us spinach, brings us great strength, or actually good health. So that's why that's going in there. And for mine, that's a bit of a new addition. So these, I change these every morning, but it is an every morning activity, and let me assure you, it's worthwhile, and you should experiment. So, but the consistency, and you know, it shouldn't be a pain to do, it should be pleasant to do. I've even got some beetroot in there, one slice chopped up. Some mornings, I'm not going to this morning, a carrot. So what we do with the carrot is I'm not all that fond of carrot, frankly, but I like it a little bit. And so I put a couple of little rings in there. I do peel the edges sometimes, which might seem a bit, in fact, frankly, who cares? The vegetables washed. What we're after is, of course, fibre and as well as the vitamin nutrients. So, you know, we're pretty relaxed about the way we approach all of this. Now I haven't got a garlic here, nor have I a ginger. I would normally put one clove of garlic in, and I would normally put a little nodule of ginger. Let's see if we can just actually get... I'm going to actually chuck this lot into the pan, and then I'm going to just do up the garlic and the ginger. One clove of garlic. I'm not going to use that much ginger. I'm going to use possibly a third of that or a quarter of that. Got the onion in there. The garlic reminds me I should pop in a little ring or two of leek. You can see that used to be much longer, but you can see what I'm doing there. I'm just putting in 2 cut rings. Okay, so we'll get them over to the frying pan and come back to the garlic and the ginger. So I've put those others in the bin over there, and I just want to show you what I do with the garlic. It's pretty simple, and that's a larger clove. My wife's father, when he was a lad in South Africa, was required by his mother to wear a necklace of garlic under his school clothes. It kept him well. It kept him very well. It kept other people away from him, so he wasn't going to be picking up things. And of course, that's a bit of some ancient superstitions, but in sensible perspectives, frankly. Anyway, so my wife's not terribly keen on the odour of garlic, but that's why we put in the parsley. Now here's, can you see it? Continental parsley. And I just shave that in, and that is to sweeten, frankly, my breath, so that the garlic is not so evident. But both, you know, garlic's pungency tells us that it's doing something good, I hope. And you can look it up yourself, what they're good for, and that's a lot. Likewise with the ginger. And look, so I've taken a small part, well, was there, and that's all. That's why I'm recommending this breakfast to you. Anyway, so we don't have to put them all in, all the vegetables we want, and today I'm not going to. The ginger, the garlic, the parsley, and I'm going to put those over. I am going to also put over the frying mix some turmeric powder, and some cumin seeds. Oh, there we are. Okay, so I guess adds a bit of flavour. Something else in the onions line is some chives. I'll hold up the name, and that's really also very beneficial. So, you know, this is not a Gordon Ramsay or a Jamie Oliver or a My Kitchen Rules, or, you know, program. It is a program for fellas who might have wondered about how they can protect themselves from unwanted illnesses. I can't imagine there'd be any wanted illness. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that into the pan, and I'm going to scatter the turmeric powder and cumin seeds over the top of that. So, and with that ginger, as you'd imagine, I'll just really peel it. Beverage wise, I eat this. I have a boiled egg alongside it. I just put the boiled egg over the top of this. One of my neighbours here, Mrs. Leggett, suggested I do a frittata. That is, just put the egg in over with the cooking vegetables. But I like doing it this way. I mean, that makes a lot of sense too. I'm very grateful to Rosemary for her advice. So anyway, there we are. Just peeling the skin of the ginger. All right. Well, there's some enterprise management involved in this as well, isn't there? So we're not only thinking about making ourselves healthy and so on, but we're also thinking about, this is a technique where I can get this ingredient first or that ingredient first, and then manipulate it so that it is consonant with my own sense of doing the right thing for myself. And can I say here too, your health is important to the world, because you're important to the world. You're important to yourself as well, but you make a good contribution. As so, there goes that. It's a bit over full this morning, but still, it's a very decent breakfast. And I do make a point of finishing it off. I don't rush the breakfast, okay? I mean, if I'm finding myself rushing breakfast and rushing off to work in the morning, I need to get up another half hour earlier, and if necessary, I need to get to bed another half an hour earlier than that. So we don't rush, particularly this. This is a really important part of the day. Frankly, I think there's some pretty good dietary science that says that breakfast is your most important meal of the day, and I would agree with that. So I'm going to put that on that element, and on the other one, the very complicated preparation for a boiled egg. And there we are. I'll give the egg a little press at the bottom, a little pinprick. I could do that with a fork if I wanted to, with the egg cup. While the food's cooking there, as it will be in a second or two, I put away things as I go. That's well, convenient. People do things in their own way, don't they? All right, so I'll just close off that take now. Before I start cooking the breakfast, I try to I put everything away. That makes sense. So I put the lid on the mix. Sometimes I scatter a few drops of olive oil over the top of that. there's the eggs ready to go. In fact, I'll pop it in. Okay, and here what I do is I'll put the vegetables up to high first of all, let them go for a few minutes. I use a spatula to, you can see this embedded with some turmeric, and I serve it onto a small plate, and then I serve it onto my breakfast plate when the other things are ready. I'll put it on high for any amount of time that you like, just to hear them starting to crackle a little bit, and then I'll turn it down to low. And when I turn it down to low, you just want to make sure, of course, that you don't leave the element on. We're always safe in the kitchen. The kitchen's a dangerous place, not as dangerous as the bathroom, of course, but still, we're conscious, and it's no big deal, but it's part of our subsidiary subconsciousness. So there's the vegetable mix and the boiled egg. I'm just waiting for the toast. I had one slice of toast. Now it's like one of those multi-grain. You can hear it popping out of the toaster now. And I put, believe it or not, one little daub of Vegemite, or Vegemite, on the in the middle of the toast, just as a salty thing. Don't put any salt in it. I do put pepper in. Never have salt. It's hopeless. It kills people, a bit like liquor. Okay, and I'm not getting all sermonic here or anything like that, but nonetheless, there we are, and that's the offering. So I hope you find it beneficial to you, and good luck to you. And after all, what we're about is preventing death on an individual and a bigger scale, and this is a long way home to preventing death. Okay, so let me enjoy my breakfast, and it's a really good start. You know, it gives you a fair amount of energy and zing, etc, etc, etc. So yeah, looking forward to your questions, comments, and anything else to contribute to this, and excuse my hesitations and any lack of flaws from lack of experience with doing this, but one can but try. So have a really good day, and thanks for watching this.